Hello students, I Meenakshi Kaushik is explaining the SST chapters classes 6 to 12 on YouTube channel. My channel name is the Digital Education where I am giving the valuable and depth knowledge and information to the classes 6 to 12, and I am sure when you will watch my YouTube channel where you will get the valuable information, depth knowledge, other informative points which are completely related to your school exam pattern, and that will help you for gaining the good marks and providing you the best to best knowledge in my channel. Thank you, student. Hello students, today I am Meenakshi Kaushik, your SST teacher, is going to explain to you about the Akbar, the Great. Akbar the Great, the time period of Akbar the Great was 1556 to 1605. It means we are talking about, I am explaining about Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. In my previous SST online classes on my YouTube channel, I explained to you about Zahiruddin, Babar, and then Humayun, and then Sher Suri kingdom. Now today I am going to explain to you, providing to you the more and more valuable information about Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Student, firstly, when we write about, suppose the questions comes in an exam, ki write the policy, the Rajput policy and the religious policy of Akbar. So straightforwardly, never write the answer, the Rajput policy directly and the religious policy directly. First of all, we have to give the some introduction about the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, ki when he was born. So now students, you have to please note down in your SST practice copy in your notepad, and you can mark, even you can take the screenshot simultaneously. So firstly, you have to give the introduction. Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar was the son of Humayun, and he was born at yes Amarkot in Sindh on October 1542. So this was the birth time period of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. So this is about the birth of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and at the age of the 12, means the 13, he became the ruler of the Mughal dynasty after the death of his father. And there was a Baram Khan. You can see here the Baram Khan. Baram Khan was his you can say the guide and tutor and teacher. So Baram Khan, he was the guide and the tutor and the teacher, because all we know that Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar was not a literate means ruler. He was an illiterate ruler. So for his guidance, for providing means every type of means guidance and sessions to Akbar, so he was appointed by the Humayun the Baram Khan as a teacher of Akbar. So every means whenever he needed the any suggestion yeah, any type of consultation he always consulted and always inspired by the tutor Baram Khan. So there was a great role of Baram Khan, his tutor, in the life of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. And slowly when he grown up, now he started to deal the Mughal dynasty on his own way. On his own way, he started to deal the Mughal dynasty, because it was the dream of the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar कि Mughal dynasty should be expanded, that should be means vastly expanded. So it's so for that he implemented the some territorial expansion policies, means the Deccan policy also introduced, because if we see the Rali Sultanate time period, there was a Alauddin Khalji was the first ruler who introduced the Deccan policy, and that was followed by the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, then Jahangir, and then Shahjahan, and then Aurangzeb. So firstly, we have to before discussing the Deccan policy of Akbar, I would like to tell you about the about the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, who defeated the who defeated the Hemu in the second battle of Panipat 1556. And now the granting the throne of the India to Akbar. Then he expanded the Mughal Empire, included Malwa piece, you can note down, and these were the areas, the territories which were captured by Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. He expanded his Mughal dynasties. Now these areas were captured by him: Malwa 1562, Gujarat 1572, Bengal 1574, Kabul 1581, Kashmir 1586, and Khandesh 1601 to his empire. So Akbar installed a governor in each of the conquered provinces under his authority. Each and every governor was appointed by Akbar in each and every provinces. So this was the way of dealing of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Now I I would like to tell you about in this means in my slide. There is no description of in this PPT description of the Akbar's Rajput policy and religious policy. From my side, I am explaining to you students. So firstly, you have to please note down in your SST notepad, and you have to make the one flow chart, please. You have to make the flow chart, and the first you have to write at the top Akbar's policies. Akbar's policy at the top you have to write, and then make the flow chart. The one side you have to write the Rajput policy, and the second side you have to write the religious policy of Akbar. Now I'm going to explain firstly about the Rajput policy. So now student, when we talk about the Akbar's Rajput policy, all we know that is Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar was a very liberal ruler. He was a very kind-hearted ruler in Mughal dynasty. Liberal ruler है, kind-hearted ruler है, and very far-sighted ruler, you can say. According to his historian, कि whatever the policies, Rajput policy or religious policies, were these two policies which were very famous in Indian history, in medieval history, in Mughal history, were implemented by the Akbar. This was the greatest example of his far-sightedness. This was the greatest example of his farsightedness, because he was well aware. He was well aware if he means he was well aware, completely aware to rule the Mughal dynasty. So first of all, to rule the Mughal dynasty peacefully, so first of all he have to maintain the friendship relations, some cordial relations, friendship relations, some cordial relations with the Rajput rulers. Because he was well aware, if I will be against to the Rajput rulers, they will be against to me. Or naturally, if they will be against to me, means if they will be against to the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, so now there will be the battles. Again the battles will be there. So he decided that I have to implement the policies. And that policy will be the greatest example of the liberal policy of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, one side, or second side, this was the policy, Rajput policy or religious policy, was the greatest example of the farsightedness of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. This is all according to historian. These two policies were the greatest example of his farsightedness. So now let's discuss the Rajput policy. What was the Rajput policy? What he had done in this policy? What were the basic points? So students, you please have to note down in your SST notepad, and please note down. First point, the Rajput policy of Akbar. He maintained the matrimonial relations. The one point you have to write, matrimonial relations. Akbar maintained the matrimonial relations with the Rajput rulers, and the one example of the matrimonial relations with the Rajput rulers is the example of Amer ruler, Raja Bharmal. Amer ruler Raja Bharmal, he accepted the friendship hand of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and then he offered his daughter hand in marriage to Akbar in 1562. So now Raja Bharmal of Amer, he accepted the friendship hand of Akbar, and then he offered his daughter hand for marriage to Akbar in the year 1562. Please, this point you have to note down. But most of the Rajput rulers were accepted the friendship hand of Akbar, and all they were happy to join these alliances with Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. But some were, one and two, the Rajput rulers were there. Those were completely refused the friendship hand of Akbar. The one example is the Rana Pratap. Rana Pratap, the Sisodia ruler of Mewar. Again, please, I am repeating, I have to note down. Rana Pratap, the Sisodia ruler of Mewar, who refused to accept the friendship hand of Akbar. So one side, if anybody asks to you, who was the first means Rajput ruler who accepted the friendship hand of Akbar, that was Raja Bharmal of Amer. And who was the Rajput ruler not accepted the friendship hand of Akbar, means refused his friendship hand? That was Rana Pratap, the Sisodia ruler of Mewar. So you please have to keep in your mind, note down your SST notepad and copy, and please write down simultaneously. My next point is, first was the matrimonial relations. So firstly, he maintained the matrimonial relations, and second point, Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, because he was a very liberal ruler, he was a very kind-hearted ruler. He given the complete religious freedom to his all Hindu wives. Religious freedom means they can celebrate their Diwali, they can celebrate their holy festival, Raksha Bandhan, Bhai, different type of means the Hindu cultures and the festivals were all celebrated by the Hindu wives of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Or himself he also celebrated. Himself he also celebrated Raksha Bandhan, Bhai, Diwali, Holi, every festival of Hindus was celebrated by him. So this is the greatest example of his liberal behavior, of his liberal attitude. The greatest example of his kind-heartedness towards the Hindu culture. So now student, he given the complete freedom to his all Hindu wives. Next, third, please. Third number point, students, you have to note down. He gave all the high post because all we know that the Mansabdari system that was introduced by Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar during his time period. So now all high ranks Mansabdari system, according to Mansabdari system, all high ranks positions and mansabs were given by Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar to all the Rajput rulers. Those accepted his friendship hand. So this was means a great benefits were given by Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar to all Rajput rulers, those accepted his friendship hand, and those were having the cordial relations with Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. So now students, it was means the one side it was a liberal attitude. It was a liberal attitude. It was a liberal attitude of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and it was the second we can say according to historians it was completely the far-sightedness of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. So now student, you have to note down about the Rajput policy of Akbar. I hope so all of you understood. I am revising again the Rajput policy point. Please have to make the flow chart. One side you have to write the Rajput policy. According to Rajput policy, you have to write he was a very liberal and the far-sighted ruler. And now the first point was that matrimonial relations, and he maintained the matrimonial relations. Firstly, the first ruler, Amer ruler, Raja Bharmel, and he accepted the offer that was given by Raja Bharmel to marry my daughter. He accepted it in 1562. Or second, the opponent Rajput ruler and who was against to the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, that was Rana Pratap, the Sisodia ruler of Mewar. And next, third number point, now given all the religious freedom to all Hindu wives and celebrated all Hindu festivals and culture. Next, fourth number point, he had given all the high post means a mansabs to all the Hindu Rajput rulers during his empire. So this is all about the Akbar's Rajput policy. Second policy is very, very important in medieval history, in medieval period and Mughal dynasty period, that is the religious policy of Akbar. In religious policy of Akbar, students, you have to note down please firstly, when we talk about the religious policy of Akbar, means according to this policy of Akbar, all the religions treated by Akbar equally, with respect and with equality. According to this religious policy of Akbar, all the religions, whether you are from the Hindu religion, whether you are from the Muslim religion, whether you are belonging to the the Buddha religion, a different type of religions, all the religions treated by Akbar equally with respect and equality. He tried to maintain peace and harmony. He tried to maintain peace and harmony among the peoples of the society of different religion. So this was the steps, this was the religious policy of Akbar to maintain the peacefulness, to maintain the kindness, to maintain the harmony, to maintain the humanity among the peoples of different religious groups, different peoples of different religions. This was the this was the religious policy of Akbar. Up now, when we talk about the religious policy of Akbar, there are the three main points you have to mention in your answer when you attempt the question paper in your exam. The first student you have to write about the religious policy of Akbar. The first part was Deen-e-Ilahi. First is the Deen-e-Ilahi. Deen-e-Ilahi, he introduced in this respect, he introduced a new religion, Deen-e-Ilahi. Akbar introduced a new religion, Deen-e-Ilahi. According to this, this was a not a new religion in the sense ki koi different type of religion. No, it was a simply the Deen-e-Ilahi. According to this religion, ki all the God are saying there is a one God, and we all have to pray to one God. This was the basically the concept of Deen-e-Ilahi. All the gods are one. God is everywhere. God is omnipotent. God is omnipresent. So this was the concept of Deen-e-Ilahi, which was introduced by Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Right? All the gods are one. All the religions are one. There is only the one God, and we have to respect to all the God of different religion. Second point, according to the religious policy of Akbar, Ibadat Khana. Ibadat Khana, this was the second step of the religious policy of Akbar. Ibadat Khana means the hall of worship. According to Ibadat Khana, the meaning of this Ibadat Khana is hall of worship, where all the peoples will be assembled, will be gathered there to discuss and to debate on all religious issues and aspects. This was the meaning and this was the basic concern of Ibadat Khana according to Akbar. During the Akbar time period, there was a Ibadat Khana, hall of worship, where the peoples of different religion or different communities, all they assembled at a one hall, at a one place, and where they discuss on different religious topics and different religious issues. And debates were also there. Here, so this was means basically it was a promotion of the peaceful harmony among the peoples of different religious groups. This was the basic concept of Ibadat Khana. This was the basic concept of Deen-e-Ilahi. The third step of the Akbar's religious policy was Sulh-e-Kul. Sulh-e-Kul means universal peace. According to Akbar, we want the universal peace. Sulh-e-Kul. Everywhere there should be the peacefulness among the peoples of the world. This is known as Sulh-e-Kul. The meaning of Sulh-e-Kul is universal peace. Please note down, students. The meaning of the Sulh-e-Kul means universal peace. Ibadat Khana means hall of worship. And Deen-e-Ilahi, a new religion introduced by Akbar. So, student, whenever you are writing the religious policy of Akbar, never forget to write these 3 points. Without writing these 3 points of religious policy, your answer will never be completed. If you will write all the 3 points with proper explanation, with proper points, with proper flow chart, so students naturally will get the good marks in SST subject. Being a SST teacher, because I am the teacher in a school, I am telling you whatever I am conveying to my school students, same I am conveying to my SST online class students on my YouTube channel. So now students, I just want that my students should go always in the depth of the SST subject, social science subject, in all the branches of SST. In my previous videos, you already watched it, what the Meenakshi madam said. She said that there is no shortcut method for learning or for gaining knowledge. You have to go always in the depth of the subject. Or SST is the completely subjective and descriptive subject, a wider subject. We have to go in the depth of the subject. Or one more thing, very important, student, when you're writing about the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, Akbar the Great, there is a very famous historian and you can say one of the greatest Navratna or Akbar's court, that was Abul Fazl. I think all of you know about it. If you don't know, so please note down it. Abul Fazl, a great historian and the greatest Navratna during the time period of Akbar. Abul Fazl wrote the 2 books in Persian language. One was Ain-e-Akbari and second was Akbarnama. One was the Ain-e-Akbari and second was Akbarnama. These 2 books were written by Abul Fazl, a great historian and one of the Navratna of Akbar the Great's court, and who explained in these 2 books about the time period of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, his political administration, the policy of the Akbar's, the Rajput policy and the religious policies, his revenue system, the complete scenario, the complete time period of Akbar. That was mentioned by the Abul Fazl in his 2 books, Ain-e-Akbari and Akbarnama. So whenever you are writing the answers based on Akbar the Great, the policies of Akbar, the administration of Akbar, the revenue system of Akbar, you always have to mention about the historian's name and one of the famous historian during his time period, that was Abul Fazl, and write the two books name of Abul Fazl, Aine Akbari and Akbarna. Again I repeated it. Just I just want to convey to all the points in my students, all they have to grasp immediately, they have to keep in their mind. That's why I'm repeating the points two to three times in my SST online classes maybe, and then in my school classes. It will be more beneficial for you students. Always watch my YouTube channel, Digital Education, based on SST chapters classes 6 to 12 and 6 to 8 regularly. Thank you students for watching my YouTube channel.